Hi everyone, my name is Matt.
And I'm Jamie. Wait,
And
my name's Matt.
oh, okay, my name's Jamie, and we are
Shade Tree Chefs. All right, this week we were going to talk about burgers, but we had yet another weekend with what did it get to? 50 degrees?
50 degrees yesterday, yeah.
50 degrees. So we ended up getting together and doing some grilling dash smoking. So
So yeah, I was at the store and with the original intention on getting something to smoke, maybe doing burgers, but the store I went to had pork shoulders on sale. I believe it was like $1 something a pound. So obviously I had to buy 2 of them.
why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I?
And I should have stopped. Maybe on my way home today I will stop.
You could, yeah, see if it's still on sale. But yeah, I put one in the freezer and we cooked one up yesterday. So, with the intention of me smoking the meats, I left all the sides to Matt. And what did you come up with?
Oh, came up with it. I looked quite a bit to try finding something different. We had to meet. So, one staple, I did some smoked cream cheese.
And that's something new that you showed me a couple weeks back or a few weeks back now, and it's definitely a good staple in my house.
It has been. I've seen it on Facebook groups prior, and it's like at first the thought was that it seems weird.
It seems weird, yeah. You think cream cheese and you're gonna make something out of it, sure, but you're not gonna use it as your main dip.
Right. So we did that early. I mean, it's easy. You get that block of cream cheese. Get your favorite rub.
Not the no fat stuff, right?
No. I from what I've read, if you get the reduced fat, it won't hold its shape.
Okay.
So
So you're gonna indulge. You're gonna treat yourself on this one.
right. So if you count calories, you're probably not listening to us anyways.
Today's your cheat day when you're eating this.
So yeah, you just get your favorite rub, sprinkle it over it, put it on the smoker or grill at lower temp, 225. I've seen people say higher, go for, I don't know. We more did it by look
Yeah.
than a time. We had a decent amount of wind.
Yep.
So-
Yep. Yesterday was windy, but still nice out. So we were outside enjoying ourselves, and we had plenty of time, or at least I thought we did. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we went with the cream cheese. He prepped all the cream cheese, put them in our metal tins, and put them on the little grill that I have, and cooked them up, and they tasted amazing.
Yeah, finish it off at the last 10, 15 minutes with a little preserve on top of it. I think it just adds that.
Strawberry, or was that
That was a raspberry.
raspberry preserve? Yeah.
Adds just that extra dimension.
Yeah, that was amazing because you got different layers of sweetness.
Did we get a picture of that, or was it gone too fast before we thought
No,
about
I think I
taking
took a picture of it. I think we're good.
Excellent.
We'll get pictures up on our Facebook, but
So you went the day of.
I
and-
did.
And picked up pork shoulder,
Yep.
which normally you're more of that low 250, cook it for 10, 12 hours.
Yeah. I like, you follow the books, you follow the big barbecue guys, and they're like low and slow, and you think of barbecue, you do think of low and slow. I think historically I've done it 225, 250, 275, somewhere around there, depending on the day when I put it on the grill. But
Right, but I got the text from you saying, hey, I got pork shoulder, and I'm going to do it your way.
yeah, and it was already 9:30 in the morning, so we're gonna have to do it Matt's way now, which
Right.
was kind of the hot and fast, not too hot, but still we had to step it up.
Yeah, I mean, 325 ish is around what I shoot for, and you can get it done in 6 hours
Yeah,
compared
that's
to 10.
That's for like a 8-pounder,
Yeah,
8-pound,
9 pound,
yeah,
whatever.
shoulder. Yep, and so that's what we aimed for. I had charcoal. I had let's talk charcoal real quick.
Oh yes,
I had charcoal. I had 2 different kinds of charcoal in my house, or my storage. I had what is the cheaper stuff? The embers? Is it?
I think it was embers.
I don't want to I don't want to talk ill of charcoal brands, but certain brands are better than others. And I'm like, okay, well, I got this bag open. You know, I was at the store. I picked it up, you know, a couple weeks back because I was out. And let's use embers. And so I filled my Weber Smoky Mountain up with the embers and put a couple logs in there of cherry, and with the good intentions of getting, you know, the full 8 hours out of those coals, but it fell short.
Same point though. We did start dealing with some wind. The wind. I mean, we had some folding chairs, right? And the wind did blow those over. You were holding your 325 for quite a while, weren't you?
I had 325 for a good 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, and then it kind of fell off, dropped down to what, about 250?
Yeah, 275, and I could see that needle just dropping, and that's when I knew I lost it. So I had to quickly recover and pour some coals in there. And I poured some cold coals in there when I think in hindsight I should have got my basket with some hot coals and poured hot coals in there just to maintain. But
I've done that also. It's like, God, just throw some new coals, recover. That's not the quick solution for it. That's going to take time. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I think we're running out of coal, so put some more on. If you're really trying to spike that temperature, you need that lit coals.
you gotta light it up, and you're not gonna get too much heat out of cold coals, especially cheaper like store brand coals. But
So getting back to the pulled pork, I mean, what did you do to it? Did you inject it? Make your own rub? What'd you do?
I wish I did all that, but I have a store bought seasoning. It's actually a really good one. It's what's the name brand here? It's Lambert's Sweet Rub of Mine, and that's more of it's got a red tone to it. Let me take a look at the bottle here. This rub apparently has won world champions, and that's what I went with because I clearly am a shade tree chef and can't make my own seasonings yet, or I have chosen not to.
I chosen not to.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. I have made my own. I found one that's pretty decent, but you look in my cabinet, I have 5 or 6 different ones.
Yeah, yeah, and they're good to have on standby. Good to have as just go to.
It also takes time.
It does.
This was more of, hey, there it is. I found a cheap cut of meat. I'm going to do it today, or I shouldn't say cheap cut of meat. A good deal on a cut of meat.
Well, and yesterday's cut of meat was what I paid $10 for a pounder. I mean, that's pretty cheap.
You said $1 something a pound.
Yep.
I got some zucchini, and that was like $3.99 a pound. So I guess that's why I eat meat more than I eat vegetables.
How does that work?
Because it's cheaper per pound.
Public service announcement: go buy meat, don't buy vegetables. Yeah.
All right. So you store bought and rub.
Yep. So let it sit out. Let it kind of come to room temperature just a little bit. I rubbed it down, let the rub sit on there.
Do you use a binder at all, or
I did. I used just a regular yellow mustard.
yellow mustard?
Yep. Covered it in yellow mustard, and then I sprinkled it with the seasoning I just talked about, and let it sit there for a good half hour.
All right.
So.
Then onto the smoker it was.
Yep. So I got my smoker ready. In the meantime, that was actually coming up to temp. I don't let it sit, or I don't let it get to temp before I put it on. As it climbs, I put it on there because you're gonna get to that temp anyways. And I open all my vents full throttle basically.
Right. And it's a long cook.
It's a long cook, so I let it go wide open, put the meat on there, and then that's when I reel it back in. That's when I dial it back, bring the temperature back down to earth. Back down to the 300, 325 I was shooting for.
Right. We did kind of mention the wind factor that we dealt with at times. It was a pretty steady wind.
Yeah. Other than driving rain, I think wind is our biggest enemy with smoke and grilling.
So you ended up switching out to a different charcoal partway through, right? I know we took some coals as we had multiple grills going at different times.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a chaos going on because we did hit that stall a little bit later on. But you brought over some, what was that, apple-infused Kingsford?
Yeah, it was a small bag
Okay.
for like $9.
I was going to say, what'd you pay for that?
It's like $9.
$9 for a little less than...
I said, why not? I always like getting, even if you're grilling, we talked about that in a previous episode, of getting that little bit of smoke flavor with it. So bought that. So we did the smoke cream cheese. I'm like, well, why not just let's see how this does.
I don't know if I could taste it.
Yeah,
The difference, I should say.
I think a chunk on there probably would have been a little better, but you could actually see slivers of wood in the briquettes.
the fillers or whatever inside the briquettes.
So we cooked the cream cheese and we took the rest of those coals, and because we were having issues.
Yep, and that was one of our it dropped all the way down to like 250, and like I said, I wanted to be at 300, 325. I'm like, okay, I'm losing temp quickly, so I took the leftover coals and poured it in there and brought it back up to 300.
So talk about, obviously we are shade tree chefs, right? We're not professionals. So day of, it's, hey, we're going to grill. It's like I said, all right, I'll get some sides. So I'm looking, go to the store. I'm like, all right, we'll do the smoked cream cheese. Can't go wrong. How about jalapeno poppers?
Can't
So
go
that's
wrong
a
there
good
either.
choice.
Yeah.
Bacon wrapped asparagus. And then just got some zucchinis and then some corn. Which I was surprised to see. It was not corn. It was corn on the cob, but it was already shucked. And I've never used that before. I always get it in the husk,
Yep.
put it on. So that was a little different also. But let's talk about more of logistics
Sure.
of what we had. So at one point we're going.
We were hanging out, so we thought we had plenty of time. We saw I checked the temperature. It was the meat itself was at like 165, maybe 170 degrees.
Stall
We're
time.
at the stall, and that's the classic. 160 degrees is your classic pork shoulder, or I guess maybe even brisket, like bigger cuts of meat stalled. Notoriously stalled at like around 160 degrees.
Inside with the wives playing a board game.
So I made sure, okay, let's make sure the grill or the smoker is at 300, at least 300. Set it and forget it. We'll walk away. Let's go do something else. So we went inside. We played a board game to take some time away, and before you know it, we checked the time. We're like, okay, now it's about dinner time, or creeping up on dinner time. We got kids to feed, and it's a school night, and so
Not only that, you went out and checked the temp, and we were past that stall.
we got past the stall, and it was like 175, maybe somewhere in there.
So now it's all right. Now we really need to get these sides going.
Yeah,
so
now it's go time.
I'm
So
like, because nothing was, I didn't put anything together. I mean, I had chopped the jalapenos early. I mean, there's two ways I've seen people do it. Either kind of take off the stem there and gut it that way. I just sliced them in half lengthwise.
some of those fresh ones have a lot of heat.
Yeah. So I think it works, but I was told if you soak them in water, that it will help get rid of some of that heat. And the first one I actually had, I really didn't sense much heat until probably the last bite.
No.
Then you grabbed another one, and it was
The
hot.
full heat that you
Full
know
heat.
of, yeah. Which maybe I'm just a big baby, but it was a little spicy. It had some kick. But
So yeah, I mean, all I did is get cream cheese. Yep, more cream cheese, everybody.
yep,
So smoked cream cheese, and then we're gonna grill cream cheese.
with fill everything with cream cheese.
So I took cream cheese, some shredded sharp cheddar.
So if you're allergic to dairy, don't make
you're not
any of
gonna
this
want
stuff.
to eat this.
Yeah,
Or if you don't like spicy.
right.
So I mixed that together, and I decided to try putting some of that seasoning I used over the cream cheese in there. I did not notice that come through though.
No.
I needed to put more. I think it was a good thought.
I
Maybe
think
I should have
overall,
tasted it.
overall, it tasted really good. But out of all the things you made, beside the corn, because corn is really hard to mess up, out of everything made, I enjoyed the peppers the most. And you also got, was it Anaheim peppers?
Yes, I did not try that because I only got a couple of those.
Anaheim peppers were a little bit less spicy than jalapenos, and those are really good too. But they're bigger and they can hold more cream cheese. So yay,
Right.
that
And bacon.
and bacon.
So, kind of going back, so now we're at that point of okay, we not only what time it is, where our pork shoulder temp is. Now it's that mad dash.
Yeah.
It's like all right, let's get the 26 going. So, Jamie's outside firing that up. I'm sitting there stuffing the jalapenos and wrapping it with bacon. We had bacon wrapped asparagus.
And I've got the 2-zone, I got the baskets opposing sides on the 26-inch grill. They're all ready to rock. I'm like, okay, this thing's just heating up. I got the vent on, the lid on, the vent's open. I come back in thinking, I'm telling Matt, hey, let's go. This is ready to go. And I look in my kitchen and I see every single counter space is covered with appetizers. And like, when he said he was bringing some stuff over, I underestimated what he all brought over.
So I guess that's our next thing is real estate. At that point, we also decided you had the baskets offset on each end, so we're using the center of the grill to kind of offset cook it, the indirect, I should say. We get the asparagus and the poppers on, and we're out of room. And I still have zucchini.
I didn't think I'd be out of room on the 26-inch grill, but we did it. We should have done coals on one side. That way we would have more real estate, but that's hindsight's 2020.
So then we ended up firing up the 22.
Yeah, I had my 22 sitting over there nice and cold, and I'm like, when in Rome, I guess I'll fire this one up too. So
we get that going, get the corn and the zucchinis on, so a couple of zucchini squash and zucchini, get that going. And as much as last week when we talked about steaks, and I gave you, I was giving you a lot of crap about this reverse sear, and essentially that's what I was doing, how we started this out, and we're looking, and by this point we've pulled the pork off.
Yeah.
The pork is done. It's resting.
It's resting. I put the aluminum foil over to tent it, let it sit there for a half hour.
We should not have, done the offset, because once I threw like the zucchinis right over the coals. Got good grill marks on them. Cooked it up. So I gave you a lot of crap about reverse sear, and that's exactly what I was doing.
That's what you went with. So. Yeah, so next time I'm thinking we do the 26-inch. We just lay a bed of coals, maybe a single layer, and just that way we have room for everything.
Right.
Or we go to your house and we do it and we use your
Ranch.
Your ranch, which is 37 inches of real estate.
Yes.
We could put everything on there then.
Yeah, I was like for the asparagus, a lot of times I just do oil and some salt and pepper, wrap it. The zucchini, I've got a balsamic vinaigrette, and I was like, I'll just sprinkle it on there, a little salt, pepper, and then throw it on the grill. I should have marinated it in the
because I don't think
there
I
was
tasted
no flavor.
it. I didn't taste it.
That it didn't take on any of that vinaigrette at all. It was just there, and even the salt, because I think I salted it early. It was grilled zucchini with. I didn't put anything on it.
Yeah. Well, so we had some mild disasters. We had some coal real estate issues. We had wind issues. Maybe better planning next time would have helped, but sometimes you just get into the let's do it phase, and you buy some things, you go to the store, fill up your cart, and let's just do it.
Yeah. I'll buy this. This looks good, and figure
out. You buy the
how
sides,
you're
I'll
gonna
buy
do
the
it.
meat.
We have to do that opposite next time.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
with
think
you
you're
and your 15 sides, maybe just throw some fries in the air fryer and call it good.
Yeah.
What were we drinking yesterday? We had Kirkland Costco brand IPA, and that's kind of a funny joke with us. We have our normal. I believe it's
Founders All Day IPA.
Founders All Day IPA, but now.
Well, and then it went to was it your mother that went to Aldi's and it's not a bad beer, the Aldi brand IPA. So as we now say, we have our normal all day IPA, and then there's Aldi IPA. So it sounds very
we call
similar.
Yeah. Are you drinking an all day IPA or an Aldi IPA? Both are good beers, but yeah, you turned me on to the Costco version of it, and that's Kirkland. Was it a Citra Hop Session beer?
Session IPA. It's one of those new to going to Costco. Seen it there, 24 pack for like $18.
Yeah, and that's a really good deal, actually.
It's like you get a 15 pack of all day IPA, and you're looking $17-18 for it. So I got it. It's not bad. Especially for the price point. But that wasn't the only beer that we had. A local beer. We had Sprecher Amber.
Sprecher Amber, that was really good.
That's
I've had it before, but every time I have it so sparingly that it's, you forget about it. You're like, okay, I remember that being really good. So
definitely a full flavored amber.
it is, and it's different than that IPA that we had.
Yeah.
And I think the third beer we had was Three Sheeps Brewery. What's that called? Chaos Pattern.
Chaos Pattern Hazy IPA.
And that too was pretty good.
Yes. A little hazier.
A little hazier.
A
Yep.
little hazier.
A little hazier. But yeah, so it was pretty funny. Just we're drinking. We're almost like just kind of running around with our heads cut off, trying to get food on the table. And by a reasonable time, we had all my grills fired up, and I was fine with going through all that cheap charcoal, because let's get rid of that and switch back to something else that's good.
And we were kind of funny as we're getting preparing to do this. We were on our phones looking, and some of this charcoal that's now being released, chili lime. I mean, there's stuff like paprika and
Yeah, and they put the seasonings or flavorings right in there.
they
Like,
put the flavorings in the charcoal.
I think it's meant for people like us that don't know how to season our stuff or something like that.
I don't know. As much as I don't want to buy it, I think we're gonna have to test it just to see.
We should, but let's buy it. Try it on cheaper foods though. Not the $4 a pound asparagus,
Right.
Or pork shoulder.
We're almost have to have. I mean, we have the grills for it. Is do the same things, same seasoning and everything, and then cook them on with regular charcoal and with one of those seasoned charcoals.
Yeah. Do a little comparison. Or better yet, have you guys tried any of these flavored charcoals or anything like that? Let us know.
Yeah,
But
send us an email at shadetreechefs@gmail.com.
Yep. So I think we've talked about everything we wanted to talk about today, right?
Yeah, I think we've hit everything on our list.
Okay.
If you have any suggestions, any stories that you want to share, maybe some prep tips, as we let time get away from us at times, and some of our grill management with some of these sides, or maybe just overbuying
Yeah.
the amount of sides.
Yeah. And we asked you on social media, on Facebook, to send us your grill fails. Do we want to talk about them today, or do we want to bring them up next time?
I think let's hold off.
Let's hold off. Okay.
Let's hold off.
We'll talk about that next time, but we got a couple fun stories we can share with you guys next time. But yeah, we're on everything now. So we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts.
And there's other ones that we're seeing that I've never even heard of.
Yep, and we're going to be putting on YouTube today, so look forward to that.
Yes,
And don't
soon-
forget to like, subscribe, share with
Yep, and tell your friends.
tell your friends. We appreciate it.
So yeah, once we're done with this, we'll get that YouTube up and going. And until then, we'll see you next time. I'm Matt.
And I'm Jamie.
He is Jamie.
And I'm Matt.
No, I'm Matt.
Oh, you're Matt. I'm Jamie.
We are.
We almost got it right.
We almost got it. We are
We're Shade Tree Chefs.